Hey everyone, as you already know, freedom of speech is under heavy attack in Canada by the Trudeau regime. They've been setting this up for a long time now, basically since they come to power, and now they're finally getting closer to making that a reality. The writing's on the wall. If you haven't already watched the video that I posted up just last week with, what was it, Andrew Coyne, basically coming out and saying that, yeah, basically soon there's not going to be anything, whether it's print media, digital, online, offline. Basically, he was warning us all that very soon there's not going to be any dissenting voices because the government has been busy either buying the loyalty or paying off those who represent many of the establishment media outlets or organizations in this country, and those they can't buy off or who won't go along to get along, well, they'll just use the heavy hand of government to prevent your ability to speak openly at all. And if Canadians don't soon start speaking out and standing up in much larger numbers, all of our voices may soon go silent, at least on the most dominant platforms out there. Headline of the National Post: Ottawa's move to regulate video posts on YouTube and social media called assault on free speech. Critics say if the Bill C-10 amendment is really meant to control the online posting of unlicensed music, TV, and movies, a copyright approach would be the proper mechanism. It's reported by Anja Karadeglija. I don't know. I might be butchering that name. Sorry, but it's not a name I'm familiar with or that I'm familiar with pronouncing. It's reported April 26, 2021. The Liberal-dominated House of Commons Heritage Committee has cleared the way for the federal government to regulate video content on internet social media, such as YouTube, the same way it regulates national broadcasting under new amendment made to a bill updating the Broadcasting Act. Critics denounced the move to give the country's broadcast regulator the ability to oversee user-generated content and said it amounted to an attack on the free expression of Canadians, particularly in light of Heritage Minister Stephen Guilbeault's recent plan to give Ottawa power to order takedowns of online content it deems objectionable. Granting a government agency authority over legal user-generated content, particularly when backed up by the government's musings about taking down websites, doesn't just infringe on free expression, it constitutes a full-blown assault upon it, and through it, the foundations of democracy, said Peter Menzies, a former commissioner of the Canadian Radio, Television, and Telecommunications Commission. It's difficult to contemplate the level of moral hubris, incompetence, or both that would lead people to believe such an infringement of rights is justifiable, said Menzies. Last Friday afternoon, MPs on the committee made changes to the government's bill updating the Broadcasting Act. Bill C-10 was introduced by Guilbeault in November to clarify the CRTC's ability to regulate TV and movie streaming services, such as Netflix. The bill doesn't include details of what that regulation will look like, but once the bill passes, the government plans to instruct the CRTC to draft rules requiring online services to contribute to and promote Canadian content. When the Liberal government introduced C-10, user-generated content such as an individual Canadian posting a YouTube video or a TikTok clip was originally exempted, but that exclusion for user content was removed by committee MPs on Friday. So you're getting that right, folks. User-generated content from individuals who upload videos to YouTube, sounds a lot of like what I do and what a lot of other liberty lovers in this country do to challenge the status quo and the rulers and establishment, right? And apparently, based on the wording of this C-10, well, they can literally target us now, right? Very concerning, very disturbing. First they came for, right? I mean, at some point in time, there's not going to be many voices if people don't start speaking out and standing up for their inherent rights, freedoms, and liberties. Anyways, folks, I've covered, the infringements on our freedom to speak freely, extensively, and in many, many videos and streams in the past. So I'm going to tie this up, but this is just the latest iteration, and the fact that they're actually including YouTube and the fact that they're going to go after individual content creators. Well, like I say, the writing's on the wall. I've known this for a while. I try my best, to abide by the myriad of rules and regulations imposed on me. I try my best, folks. But like I say, it doesn't seem to be doing much good at this point. Like I say, no matter what we do, Now, big government, those who want to stifle and silence our voices, like I say, they got all the power of the purse and the power of legislation and the power of their mindless enforcers to enforce that legislation to bully, intimidate, or force us into silence. At least, like I say, on the dominant platforms. Yeah, sure, we'll be able to find, outliers or alternative platforms where we can congregate to and hopefully speak more freely. But once again, that's just functioning in an echo chamber. And like I've said many times in the past, not exactly where I want to be entirely. I enjoy talking with other like-minded people, but I also like to entice others to think critically about these kind of issues as well, to think critically about liberty and freedom as it pertains to us human beings, right? To think critically about a lot of areas and aspects of social and economic lives. We've had a good run. I know myself, I've been doing this, I've been at this for many, many years. But I've also seen over the course of those years where my reach, my ability to get my information out there has been greatly stifled and hindered to the point where I basically just got maybe 100 or 200 really dedicated folks that now tend to watch my videos or my live streams, whereas the rest of Canada probably doesn't even know I exist. Right? So this is tough, and it's like I say, it's not just about me; it's about a lot of other personalities or contributors to some of these social media platforms who are challenging the status quo. We're all being placed in a very precarious situation that should never be allowed to take place in any so-called free society or country. But alas, here we are. Anyways, I'll place a link to this in the description of the video below. Moving on to the next one. It's Canadian Libertarian. I love liberty.